It's the Pirate People Podcast, today with Megan Pester, the Director of Admissions and Marketing at North Central Missouri College. The Pirate People Podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and on our YouTube channel, Pirates Digital Media. Plus, by this time, maybe a couple of more places. Hi, everybody. I am Rick Cole of Pirates Digital Media. As we restart our weekly podcast, now that the second semester, the spring semester is here, we are featuring Megan Pester today. A little deeper look at some of the people in and around North Central Missouri College. Before we get to Megan, a quick note here. Pirates Digital Media is now providing live stream video from our athletic contests on the road most of the time. Check out our website, www.piratesdigitalmedia.com, to see the latest editions as we follow the Pirates on the road. And now Megan Pester on the Pirate People Podcast. Megan, you're in kind of an administrative position now at North Central, but you've held a lot of jobs here as you rose through the ranks. And tell us, first of all, what's your current position? What were the positions that led up to you being in this spot?
Currently, I'm the Director of Marketing and Admissions. I have held this position for the last year. I went to college for marketing. That was my undergrad, and still didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up after I graduated. So,
like a lot of people?
Yeah, like a lot of people. I worked retail for a little while, and then I got kind of offered a job here at NCMC in the admissions department, basically kind of encouraged to apply, I guess, for the job. And so I started as an admissions representative back when we were still doing paper applications. Wow. And there were 2 admissions staff members. So everything was manual. It was crazy. I did that for about a year. And then I actually got the opportunity to start a brand new position working with Northwest Missouri State University as their transfer facilitator. So when people ask me how long I've been at NCMC, it's kind of a tricky answer because I've been on campus since 2007, but I have only been employed by them for 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you graduate?
I graduated from Northwest.
From Northwest, mm-hmm. And so you weren't really known as an NCMC student, like a lot of people that find employment here.
Right.
Yeah. And in marketing was your thing at that point. What brought you back to it?
So to be completely honest, I chose marketing as a major because it looked like the easiest.
Oh, okay. That's a great answer.
the least amount of classes, and it ended up being awesome. I actually, like I said, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Once I started working in higher ed, it was kind of like I never thought of working at a college as a job if you aren't a teacher. So it kind of opened up a whole new world, and I was really fortunate when the marketing job came open at NCMC because it was something that, like design and creativity and all of that is something that I've always loved to do in my free time. So it was just kind of a natural thing for me to want to move into that world.
Let's get back to admissions in a little bit and talk a little bit more about marketing. How has it changed since you were that idealistic college student and graduated with a degree?
So marketing changes every day now, especially with the internet and social media and any kind of digital media. Whenever I was in college, I didn't have a single class or topic on social media marketing. Wow. And now that is a majority of what we do.
Was there social media, though, out there? There had to be some.
Yeah, so without super aging myself, Facebook had just started.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you're a lot younger than me because we had started with absolutely nothing like that. Right. The internet hadn't even been born. Facebook, is it kind of passé now for marketing purposes?
It is. It's crazy because that was the big thing whenever, even a couple of years ago, put your money into Facebook advertising. Yeah. And now with the generation that is coming up, the high school students and the college students that we have now, it's YouTube, it's TikTok, Facebook falls way down there as far as what they're doing with their free time, how they're using social media. So.
TikTok has been kind of the hot thing this year, and you read all about and how they're changing their tactics and trying to attract more people, and yet it still seems, to me at least, like it's for young people. Are we trying to use that as a tool to reach possible recruits?
Yes, so we have a TikTok channel, and it is super fun to put any kind of content on that platform because I think the one thing that I really like about TikTok is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to script videos. You don't have to put a whole lot of thought into it. It's supposed to be fun and energetic, and we have used it a lot to showcase our athletes and just students on campus and campus in general. We're using it more as a tool to get our name out there and to kind of show what we have. We don't put any paid advertising in TikTok. I think that's the great thing about it because your video can go viral with no money put behind it. Right. So it's a great marketing tool.
Right. How do you, and what's your thought on distinguishing what is, I'm going to call it classy content or stuff that's legit, as opposed to some stuff that just is out there and is just wild and probably not what we want to be associated with in a lot of ways. How do you distinguish and how do you deal with that?
So with our TikTok channel, it is managed through my office, and as is all of our main social media channels, as far as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that is managed through my office. So while we do have a lot of student content, it has to go through myself or Amanda, who is my coworker in marketing, before we post it online. And I did a little follow-up with Sarah Bird's class that she had recently.
They did the takeover thing a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm. They provided us with a lot of content. And some of the feedback I gave them was, you guys are college students. We still get to have fun, but we still have to remember, we have to watch the language and watch the, how we're portraying ourselves because this is going out on a public channel for not just college students, but for everyone to see. Right.
Instagram, Snapchat, still viable?
Yeah, so Instagram is huge. Also right up there with TikTok as far as what they're using for Gen Z and then our current college students. And Instagram's used by a lot, a very broad reach of population. So with that compared to, it's great with social media because all the platforms you can utilize in a different way. So with Instagram, we get to use pictures to kind of tell our story. And with TikTok, it's video. And so, you kind of have to find that balance on what you want to showcase and how you're telling that story.
Right. You're so involved with it professionally. Do you find it useful personally?
Social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I spend a ton of time on social media. Yeah. I feel like, even personally, I'm using it to research what are the trends, what are colleges posting, what's being liked, and what's being, what is going on TikTok and Instagram, and how are companies and colleges using that to get their name out there. So even when I leave work, I'm still doing that at home.
Yeah. You love your job, though. This is, you were telling me earlier, this is something you're really excited about.
Yeah, I love it. I didn't ever think that, I worked in advising before I moved into marketing and admissions at NCMC, and I love that too. It was something that I was really passionate about because it was more, helping the students directly figure out what they want to do with their life and take the right classes. Right. And, a lot of thought was put into that and a lot of behind the scenes work. With admissions and marketing, I love it even more. So it allows me to be creative and fun, and I get to, still work with the students, but in a different way.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about the admissions part of your job. One of the things North Central has been known for over the past several years is their increasing admission when other schools are not having that success. What's the secret to the success of admissions?
Well, if I knew the secret, I don't know if it really is a secret. Maybe we're just like maybe we are the secret, We're a community college, and I think the stigma around community colleges is finally going away. It's taken a long time, but people are seeing community colleges as colleges rather than just, an extension of high school.
Right.
We have A+. We have so much to offer. We have athletics. We have residence halls. A lot of community colleges don't have any of that. And then on top of all that, we're small enough that we can put personalized emphasis on our students.
Yeah. What's the message, though? What do we use to attract kids about North Central? Just can you sum it up in kind of not a mission statement, but just something to remember?
Yeah. So something that we focus on in marketing and also in admissions when we are out visiting with students and doing visits and all of that is we are affordable. So even if you don't have A plus, which is huge, even if you don't qualify for financial aid, we're still under $200 a credit hour, and you can't even hardly find that anywhere.
Right.
We're accessible, meaning that we have our campus here. We have our campuses in Maryville, Bethany, soon to be Savannah, North Belt Center, and plus our online campus, if you want to call it that. So you can really go to school from anywhere. So affordable and accessible is really how we sell it. And also we're available for anyone to come here. We have, the transfer degrees, so for students that want to further their education, but we also have the career and tech ed, so for those that want to go right into employment.
We have so much to offer to so many people in this area. We are regionally based, though, although that region is going to expand a little bit. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we have traditionally been a 16-county region, which is most of northwest and north central Missouri. This coming year, we will be adding Buchanan County to our recruiting region, which is awesome. So we will be serving them in a lot of different ways, not only offering classes there, but we can be a little bit more aggressive with getting into that county and talking to potential students. A lot is going on with Buchanan County and our expansion there. So that's going to be awesome. And then, it just helps our reach. It allows us to talk to those students that may not have known about us, because a lot of our competitors are that direction, towards the city.
And you're talking about the St. Joseph area, Buchanan County, right? So that's a major city, maybe the biggest city closest to us outside of Kansas City. So that's fantastic.
Say so.
Yeah. Are you competitive with those other regional people? Do you feel a sense of competition between them?
I don't know if I feel any competition. Mostly what I'm looking at is how we're growing internally. So I'm a big numbers person. I like to look at the data, see, what population is at a certain high school and what percentage of that population are we capturing as far as reaching out to them and connecting, how many are converting to applicants, how many are enrolling. I like to see all of that, because I think that is how we can improve ourselves. Now, where I do get competitive is when we're out on the road and we see all the cool stuff that other colleges are doing. And then I come back and I'm like, okay, well, we have to change all of this and we have to, work it into what we're doing. So
that's so interesting. You talked about the data, how you, how you engage with the data. And yet, you're very creative too. That's a kind of a yin and a yang sort of thing. How do you reconcile the two sides?
I think a lot of it is I just have to have purpose in what I'm doing. So I have to be intentional with a lot of the marketing side. So in order to kind of prove to myself that it's worth my time or worth putting out there for the college, I want that data to back it up.
Right. For complete transparency, Megan is my boss, I don't know what you call it, but supervisor. How has being a boss, how do you feel about that, leading people and having them underneath you? How do you deal with that?
So when I worked in advising, I also had a team that I supervised, and that was my first experience being a supervisor. And it was pretty easy. We were all on the same page. We were working on the same projects. This position is different because not only do I oversee my admissions team, I also have the marketing team and then your digital media.
Right.
So it can be a little bit chaotic at times. I also have North Belt Center that I oversee as well.
Oh.
So a lot of different areas, but I feel like we all work well together, and I try to keep that balance between marketing, admissions, and the North Belt Center kind of separate. Make sure I'm checking in with people and looking at their work and everything, and making sure everything's going smoothly.
North Belt Center, tell me what's that responsibility?
So really, what I do is just make sure their operations are running smoothly. So Toby Crippen is our extended campus coordinator over there. She really runs the show. I don't even have to worry about anything going on over there at all. I just typically check in. Do you guys need anything? How are things going? things like that. So that's about the extent of it.
Was there a skill set that you had to learn in order to be a supervisor? And if so, where'd you get that?
Well, I'm the eldest of my family, so I've always been the bossy one. I have 2 younger brothers, so that helped getting being able to oversee them whenever I was younger. I guess I don't know. I think it's just a learn as you go type of thing. Mutual respect for your teammates and making sure that you are being, transparent and communicative and all of that.
Yeah. You grew up in Princeton, right?
I did.
Yeah. So I know we've got a lot of students from Princeton here as well as from around the region. But what were you like as a kid? So let's go back to high school. What were you like? Were you one of those a good student, respectful student, a little bit on edge? How would you characterize yourself?
I feel like my trajectory probably started then. I'm still the president of my class. So my graduating class, I was voted the best leader.
Fantastic.
I wasn't, I was just, Princeton, we had 30 people in our graduating class. Yeah. So, you were friends with everybody and you're involved in everything you could be involved in. And that's one of the great things about those smaller schools is you can do all that and you still have time. But yeah.
Activities in high school?
I played softball and I was a cheerleader.
Okay. Kind of a softball player, were you?
I played third base.
Oh, tough position.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Team sports teach you a lot.
Yeah. When you were playing third base, did you have to creep up on the hitter down the line and get real close in bunting situations?
Oh, yes.
What was that like?
So we, I'll give a shout out to our pitcher that we had in high school, and she graduated with me, Becca Evans. She was an amazing pitcher, all state, I think all 4 years maybe.
I think I've heard of her name somewhere.
Yeah, probably. But I was lucky because, if people did hit off of her, they usually hit down first baseline, so I could get right up there on home plate.
Yeah, nice. It's good to have good pitching in softball. Cheerleading. Here's a point that I like to visit about. Is it a sport? Is it an activity? How did you feel about it when you were cheerleading?
We did not compete whenever we
But I mean, you know what I'm saying is that a lot of people think cheerleaders are just, you don't work at it. You just show up and you look pretty and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All that kind of typical girl stuff that we've always heard.
Sure.
How did you feel about it when you were?
I think it can be, it's a sport. I mean, you still practice. You still put yourself in situations where you could be injured. You are expected to perform at, games and everything where you show up and, your job is to keep the crowd and the players up and in a positive atmosphere. We didn't compete, but I think the teams that do compete and, dance team, cheerleader, whatever, it's definitely a sport. Yeah.
Well, and you were saying when you're on the recruiting trail, you see those were you kind of like that as a cheerleader? You saw what the other cheerleaders were doing and we got to do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely we were. Yeah.
See, that's competitive. That's really good. I've always felt like whatever you're doing activities-wise, especially in high school, whether you're practicing football or you're in band or you're a cheerleader, you're putting in time. Mm-hmm. And, I'm a big believer in doing a lot of different things. I don't like one-trick ponies that do just one thing. Most of the time it's sports. Right. I just think there's that general all-around, you get something good out of participating in lots of stuff.
Yeah.
How about college? Is the same true there? Do our kids here in school benefit from being in different activities, trying different things?
Absolutely. I think the last statistic I saw about that was more than 80% of if you're involved in things outside of the classroom, you're 80% more likely to graduate.
Right.
So getting involved in clubs or, athletics, really anything. And we have so many clubs and organizations here that are not even academic related, just to get that sense of community and have that encouragement to stay in college and to finish.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because I see not only that we'll call them traditional kind of clubs that are around college campuses, but the times have dictated that we add different kinds of clubs for different people who have interests in different areas. And I think that's a positive sign for North Central.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we have some clubs that have just started in the last few years that I think have really taken off, that are, kind of really niche clubs
Right.
like the Shakespeare Troupe and the Nerds Guild
right.
and all of those things. So I think it's great that students are stepping up and starting those.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot again. If you were a student at North Central, what group would you like to be most part of?
Oh gosh, probably student ambassador, student senate.
Yeah.
You know, those things that are really campus involved.
It's that leadership thing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about admissions a little bit and about your background in marketing. What do you do for hobbies? What's personally what do you do to kind of take the edge off when you're at home or whatever?
So I have 2 kids, so we stay busy with really anything they're wanting to do. I like to be outside, so this time of year is not fun for me,
right.
because it's so cold. So if I can be doing anything outside, I like to read. We watch a lot of sports at home, so watch a lot of Pirates digital media broadcast and football.
Well,
and
let me apologize for everything that happens.
No, it's great.
I think that I've seen your posts. I think Instagram comes to mind immediately, but you're kind of a summer person, aren't you? You
Yes.
kind of enjoy the pool and that kind of stuff. In fact, I think all the people in your building are kind of the beach girls or something, because you all like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we would all rather be outside.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that working for the weekend. We're
Right.
still putting everything we have into our jobs, but getting off work and being able to spend that in getting the sunshine and everything. So
that balance between professional life and personal life, that's tricky these days. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And is that something you consciously think about?
I don't know. I don't know if I consciously think about it. I think even as like a parent or somebody that has, a husband or wife or a significant other at home, it's trial and error. So, you feel like you do a lot for there are times whenever I leave work and I think, oh my gosh, I'm like really on to something here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to stop. And I take all my stuff home. But then when I get home, you're like, okay, it's time to shut it down and we'll just pick this back up tomorrow.
Right.
So it's trial and error. Sometimes you got to put more work into work. Sometimes I'll take a personal day and just, stay home with the kids or whatever. So.
I heard a great analogy. I think it works here, that when you row a boat across a lake, you don't go in a straight line. It looks like it if you're 20,000 feet above, but you don't. Go a little to the left, a little to the right. Pretty soon you're at your destination. I think that's kind of what you're talking about. You have to kind of adjust and go and all that.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, adjust as you go.
Parenthood change you? Did it change you fundamentally as a person?
Of course. I mean, you don't realize it, as you're going through it. But I think looking back, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you enjoy about being a mom the most?
They're fun. I mean, they're funny and they're fun. And
how old are they?
My daughter's 12 and my son's 6. So, and now, they're at the age where we can actually go do stuff and like go to the movies and they like it and, things like that. So they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. Are they going to North Central, you think?
I hope so. My daughter's convinced she's never going to move out of the basement.
Really?
So going to college at NCMC and living in the basement.
They do have a tendency to bounce back after they leave, right?
Yeah.
You get ready for that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this has been fantastic. It's fun to chat with you because, as I said, I like to be around successful people. You're certainly that professionally. And it sounds like you do a great job as a mom, too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. It's been good. North Central, if you could sum it up in one word, what does it mean to you? Or not one word. I won't limit you to one word.
Okay,
what does it mean to you?
Honestly, I owe so much to NCMC. It has made me the professional that I am, and the opportunities that I've been given by being employed here, I can't even put into words how much it's impacted me. So it means a lot to me, and I think we have so much to offer at NCMC, and I really hope in admissions and in marketing we're making an impact on students that may not have considered us or just don't know about us.
That's Megan Pester on the Pirate People podcast. Our thanks to her. She's the Director of Marketing and Admissions at North Central Missouri College. The Pirate People podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and on our YouTube channel, Pirates Digital Media. I'm Rick Cole. Goodbye for now, and go Pirates!